Hey guys, welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. You may have noticed we've kind of transitioned back to once-a-day videos. We had a fun little crazy weekend and partying with this game for a while, but the work week's back and this is more or less the pace I can do, so one video a day here on out, probably? Unless I get really excited next weekend too. So last episode, we had a big shootout, wiped out all these people. Apparently loading my save moved their locations. Oh wait, no, one of them's probably just out of line of sight. Anyway, we've been here in the Wampoan area. We investigated, we found out the deceit going on with Gaichu and everything. The fact that they hired him and then betrayed him. And since I'm not the most morally pure character in this playthrough, I chose to kind of go with him and support him. And so I'm like, here's this evidence, I'm gonna confront you guys. And they pushed my hand. I didn't say, hey, let's go slaughter everyone because I'm going to instantly trust Gaichu, but just presenting the information at all made them decide that they were sentencing me to death. I do feel bad about the security guard guy though, because I was hoping that he would, I was hoping to convince him that they were wrong, so that at the very least he could survive. I think that there's probably a solution where you could do that. When I went to the parking garage, I didn't fight and kill all the red spears. And there may be another way of approaching that situation where if you fight your way through there, maybe you can resolve the entire council situation differently. But then you might be killing all the red spears, and that's also not necessarily any more morally okay. And maybe there's another solution where you save everyone because you smooth talk your way through the red spear at people because you have certain like gang credibility. I know there's like stuff like there's certain things that pop up that are all talking about your attitude with gangs and with all these different factions that you may or may not have the option for, and I mostly don't. Anyway, the MTR rockets noiselessly towards Heiaui along the edge of Kowloon Bay. The Blackwater glitters in the night with the light of 1,000 reflected storefronts. Gaichu stares sightlessly out the window, one hand pressed to the glass. The Wampoan elders are dead. They forced your hand, yeah they sure did, and paid the price for it. Their story was a cleverly crafted lie meant to put the ghoul to death for their greed. But was the trade you made worth it? The uncertainty of that choice is as clouded as the sky above you. I would feel very bad about my decision if I straight up murdered the council, but I literally just came back with my investigation results and talked to them about it. And their response was to accuse me of death. Granted, I was accusing them of everything, but they still said they were going to execute me. At that point, it's out of my hands. I made decisions that took me there, but I'm not going to act like it's all my fault. Karma gained 8. Sweet. I'm sure I can use that. Alright, let's look at how we want to do this. I think I want to put points into spell casting, so I can start being able to use some of these new spells. I am a little bit abundantly aware of the fact that I spend a lot of time looking into how I'm gonna do things with these what's going on here? Oh, that's the maximum for trolls. I was like, what's going on there? I'm like, I didn't install any cybernetics. I just didn't notice it was red before, maybe. Anyway, I'm abundantly aware that I've probably spent more time now in the last 5 episodes looking at this screen deciding how I'm gonna build my character for combat than I do actually doing combat. Funny how that happens. But yeah, this game's very talky. I think there's probably going to be big fights. I just haven't found my way to them or talked my way around them up to this point. But I can get these 2 other spells by spending only 5. I think I'm going to do just that. Because getting 3 in key casting will give me the ability to let me use 2 spells that I already bought. Oh, 3 spells I already bought, maybe. I forgot if I bought 2 rank 3s or not. Hello, intelligence. Might never deal with you. Strength, I have 3 points. Don't know if I can really spend them on much. Maybe throwing weapons? Probably not. Charisma might not hurt. Oh, we get new etiquette right there at 2. Maybe a little bit of charisma wouldn't hurt, especially since it's cheaper than saving up for some of the other options. Yeah. I'll never be a super charismatic, high-ranking person as far as dealing with other people goes, but just doing this, bam, I can just buy a new etiquette. That'll at least give me some options during combat, during dialogue, such as gang was one of the things I could have talked about that would have probably smooth things over before. I'll try to stick to things that are close to how I think my character works. Anyway, choose an etiquette. Etiquette is about knowing how to behave in various social situations. The right etiquette can give you an edge in certain conversations. Choose an etiquette from the list below. Choosing an etiquette does not cost karma, and each etiquette can only be chosen once. So I can choose one. Corporate, security, gang, socialite, shadowrunner, academic. From a story perspective, the two things I would go to are probably gang and shadowrunner for this character. Maybe security, but that's mostly my brother's role. But since I'm brand new at shadowrunning, I think the most reasonable thing would be to go for gang from a story perspective for my character's build up. And then once I've done a few more missions and I've unlocked more karma to unlock more charisma, I can then be like, yeah, now I can speak as a shadowrunner because I've been doing it for more than one mission. There we go. So now we have the ability to pursue gang dialogue. Let's confirm that. Look at me leveling up and shit. Yeah. Alrighty then. We have one karma left, but I probably won't be spending it right away. Alright, did it say get some rest? Optional, get some rest. Alright. Why not? Might as well get some rest before I try to, maybe talk to... I assume that she's going to have something to talk to me about, right? But I should probably talk to my boss. But let's get rest first, because I've had a long day of murder investigating. Is that Haoe Smuggler? And maybe some of my friends will have something to talk to me about. Alright, so I can claim my payment here at the mission computer. How much I get. Your workstation and mission computer, the cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. A blinking message in the upper right corner notifies you of 4 unread messages. Let's just go to jobs directory. Review notes on completed jobs. There's nothing there. Okay, Shadowland BBS? Post-paid editor for sale? Did I lose track of where to do this? It might be in my inbox. Let's just rest first. I'll check into that while I'm picking my next mission. We'll rest, and then I'll see if people have something to talk about. I'm sure Isabel will have something to say about what happened here. It'd be weird if she didn't. There's people that she grew up with, and I may have killed all of them, and she helped kill all of them. You wake with a start, your limbs bound up in a sweaty tangle of linen bedsheets. An incredible sorrow swells in your chest. You feel empty, half-starved and alone. Fragmentary memories of a half-remembered dream flit through your mind. They're already fading away to nothing. Chase the memories. You close your eyes and concentrate, willing yourself to keep the dream from slipping away. Gradually, the memory comes back to you. The walled city. You were back in the walled city. You don't remember how you got there, but it couldn't have been any place else. Even the barrens weren't so squalid. You remember craning your neck to look above you. The buildings that made up this part of the walled city were new construction, even cheaper than the old. Now their foundation had rotted out from under them, and the buildings leaned into one another like a gang of drunken men. A rain of plaster and asbestos sprinkled down, dusting your shoulders. You began to creep forward, picking your way past the piles of refuse and debris, past the pimps and the dumpster fires and the broken glass and the dirty needles. The air reeked of rot and sewage and industrial waste, a disgusting melange that caught your sinuses and crawled down your throat. You gagged on the stink, but it didn't slow you down. In the back of your mind, you knew that you had no reason to be doing this. There was nothing for you in the walled city. You shouldn't have been here. But the rest of you was hungry, unbearably, indescribably hungry, and that part of you knew that if you kept moving, you'd finally get to eat. As you forced your way deeper into the walled city, locals stood at the windows and stared. Inexplicably, some of them dropped to their knees. You kept moving. You could see something in the distance, a silhouette, something enormous, at least twice the size of a troll, but delicate. It was beautiful. The huge figure beckoned you, gesturing with a slender limb. An explosion of warmth filled your chest, and you knew that if only you could reach it, your problems would be over, and she would make them all your sorrows disappear. She moved forward at a crawl. You moved forward at a crawl, but the figure felt impossibly far away. You reached out, calling to her, and then you woke up, and the empty feeling in your stomach slowly fades, taking the strength and vibrance of the memories along with it. Well, that was vivid for sure. Oh shit, never mind. I had this panic moment of like, the level's not loading outside my room, and it's like, no, that's just the angle of the hallway silhouette. It does look freaky if you see it out of context, like so when you first wake up like that. I wonder what kind of context... Oh, did you guys have anything new? No. Yeah, they definitely have a slow level... Ooh, that's it, I can level Gaichu. I can pick Red Samurai. Gaichu gains a defensive ability that adds 2 armor and 1 dodge at the cost of 1 AP. It doesn't have a list on how long it lasts. Maybe the whole fight? Cooldown of 5, so you can only cast it once every 5 turns. I wonder if you can keep stacking it. And then Ghoul, gain ability Rip. The other one was active defense. Gaichu gains a claw ability, Rip. Does an additional 2 damage and 2 bleeding damage for 2 rounds. Cost of 1 AP, cooldown of 2. So basically, if you go into bare hands mode, with your crazy claw mode, you'll do 2 bonus damage and you'll do bleeding. Huh. Being able to go into tank mode actually sounds pretty great. There's a reduction of incoming damage and the ability to dodge attacks. Could be really handy for him as a tank role. If my main character is going to be all about punching things and doing really high damage, it might be good to make Gaichu someone who can take a hit. Let's go for that. Oh yeah, especially if he has an armor of -2 all the time, apparently. Probably part of being a ghoul. So this would help undo his negative trait. Confirm. Exit. Let's look at Gaichu's screen. I can't? Oh, they're not... I guess if they're not in my party, I can't look at my other characters. Alright, we'll look at that later then. Is this where... Yeah, this is where my brother is. Any follow-up on our last mission? Wu's cabin appears to be the only clean spot on the bolt hole. His equipment is neatly laid out on his bedding, grouped by type, arranged just so. He is cleaning his weapon with meticulous care. Well, that's that, I guess. We're runners now. Yep. Think it's time to catch up? Could be. He stops for a moment, stares at the weapon in his hand. That's why I'm maintaining my equipment. It helps me focus my brain, work through stuff. He sighs, lowers the rifle. Now's as good a time as any, I guess. Where do you want to start? Let's talk about being Shadowrunners now. What's there to say? I worked my ass off to pull myself out of the gutter and make something out of my life. I did what it took to earn my bronze, and now I'm a mercenary hiding in the shadows of a foreign country, doing dirty jobs that the Corps needs in order to keep off the books. It's the reverse of everything I ever wanted. You seem to be taking it pretty damn well, so let me ask you something. You said you thought that Raymond was alive too, that we'd run the shadows until we could figure out what happened to him. Was that true? Yes. For me, this is all about finding what really happened to Raymond. Wu nods, clearly satisfied. Good that we're on the same page. I feel better knowing that. But will this be... I wonder if this is going to be like Far Cry 3, though? I think it's Far Cry 3. Where, like, at the beginning, it's like, I just gotta go save my friends. And by the end, they start asking you, like, but do you actually like this? Do you just want to stay here, even after everyone's safe? That might be a question that my character has to ask at some point to himself. What's your opinion on Kindly Cheng? I'd say that she's got us right where she wants us. Right under her thumb. What do you want to talk about specifically? Do you think we can trust her? A triad boss and an underground fixer? No, I don't think we can trust her. As long as we all share the same goals, we should be okay. Makes sense. As long as we serve her interests, she doesn't have a reason to screw us over. Exactly. It's simple. She provides jobs, we do jobs. She gets info about Raymond and that plastic-faced man, and we figure out what the hell is going on. We figure out what's going on, she doesn't end up in the trunk of a car at the bottom of the river. Everyone wins. What do you think she wants from us? As long as her network keeps delivering information of Raymond, I don't care. At least not for now. We need to stay with her. We have no connections in Hong Kong. Without her, we're dead in the water. He had an interesting point earlier. I was worried for a moment there, like, okay, so she's holding this information over our heads. What if she just, what if she finds it but then just keeps it from us to prolong our service to her? But then I realized, oh yeah, she has some stake in us succeeding with what we want because she wants to gain control of the situation because things are all getting messy right now. We should keep an eye on Strangler Bow. We should keep an eye on everybody. And that guy is definitely no exception. I've seen plenty of cold killers in the Barrens and plenty more since I joined Lone Star. This guy's the real deal. I'm not sure if he knows what the word remorse even means. You should steer clear of him. I'll be careful. Aha, I can see that. What about this plastic-faced man? Creepy dudes are nothing new to me. Even well-dressed, creepy corporate dudes. Between the gangsters we grew up with and that shit I've been running into as a cop, I've seen all kinds. I just want to know who he is and who he works for. Let's talk about something else. I want to talk about Raymond. Okay, shoot. What do you think's going on with him? I don't know, Grotto. He was clearly obsessed with the walled city and whatever prosperity is. He sounds like a sleepwalker trying to stumble his way through a dream or something. A sleepwalker who hires Shadowrunners. From Triad bosses. Raymond was smart. Smart as hell. I'm sure he had a reason for using Kindly Cheng as a fixer. Did he say anything about me after I left? You know Raymond, Grotto. He taught us that what he wanted to teach us. Told us that he wanted what he wanted us to know. Everything else was met at the wall of good-natured silence. He used to say, "You are the master of the unspoken word, Mr. Wu. Once it is out of your mouth, it is out of your control." So no, after you left, he never said a word about you. Not a word. Why do you think he came to Hong Kong? Well, he's from here, right? It sounds like he had unfinished business that needed taken care of before. You think he's dying? Maybe. Just something to think about. Let's talk about something else. Sure, ask away. Let's talk about Gobbet and Isabel. They seem competent, considering how young they are. But then again, they sounded like they've been taking care of themselves since they were pretty young. The three of us work together well in the walled city. Based on that, I'd bet the four of us would make a solid crew. Do you trust them? As far as I trust any runner, yeah. It's like Raymond used to say, trust and verify. They haven't given me a reason not to trust them, so until they do, I'll believe what they say and keep my eyes open. I can't get that dream that I had out of my head. You said you had one too, right? Yeah. Yours sound like a nasty one. I don't remember much of mine. I was pretty creeped out by our run into the walled city. Between that and all the drama, I'd be surprised if I didn't have a nightmare. He shrugs. Was the walled city in your dream? Of course the walled city was in my dream. It was a nightmare, wasn't it? He gives you a lopsided grin. Was it in your dream too? Sure looked like it. I'm not sure I'm surprised. The walled city is more than just another slum and a sprawl. Hell, it is a sprawl. Of course we dreamed about it. The feeling that I was there stayed with me. It felt thick, heavy. And I got this overwhelming feeling of, I don't know, wretchedness, I guess. What do you remember about yours? Just little snatches of things. He puts his hands on his hips and concentrates. The walled city was breathing and had teeth everywhere. And there was a tunnel that was so bright that I had to shut my eyes. And Raymond was there. He was either kneeling or lying down. I can't remember which, but he was crying. That's what made me wake up. The sound of my father crying. Did it feel any different from other nightmares you've had? He takes his time, thinks about his answer a bit before he responds. You know how sometimes you'll be mad at a friend in a dream, and then wake up still mad at him? Then you treat him like he did something wrong when you see him. It kind of feels like that to me. Like I dreamed I was swimming up towards a bright light when I woke up. I was out of breath for the effort. Let's talk about something else. So we both had a dream. Similar dream with the teeth and stuff at the walled city. It seems to involve our father. And we were exhausted afterwards. So, and this shared dream probably means something. With all the weird spirit stuff going on, and even cybernetic implant things going on in this universe, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Raymond is out somewhere trying to communicate with us, and this is how he's reaching us. What'd you think about the last run? I don't know, Grotto. I've had enough of ghouls for one lifetime. The Barons were full of them. Remember what the 162s did to that Aslander family that lived in the old town center? Remember how we found them? It's not the kind of thing you forget. Tooth marks in the bones and all that. His face goes white as a sheet. Yeah. Made my stomach turn. Nobody deserves to go out like that. I don't know, Grotto. I don't think I'll ever get comfortable having a ghoul in our crew. I guess if was a god damn it, there's a surprising number of typos in this game. Oh well. I guess it was a good thing to help him though. I'd rather have a ghoul on my team than a ghoul obsessed with vengeance. Who knows what he would do to get it? Anyway, enough about that. Need anything else? Let's talk later. Lots of follow-up on these characters. Oh, what? Later's good. I want to do some cardio, work off some steam. Then it's rack time for me. You should do the same, Grotto. A couple hundred push-ups would do good. Please, I could bust out 200 in my sleep. Have you seen how big I am? I guess that does make push-ups harder though. Oh well. He raised an eyebrow. I'd love to see that sometime. But for now, you should clear out. I want to get started, and this cabin isn't big enough for two. It's not? It's pretty big. I wish I had a room this big. Hell, I'd put up with the weird, like, beach pier floor wood if I could have a room this big, all the space for recording. Alright. There's something oddly appealing about weird, like, hanging from the wall beds. They're probably kind of shitty beds. I guess you could just put something on them. That's how beds work. They're just a platform. You can put whatever you want, stacking up. Alright. That was the easy one. Just basic stuff. I don't like ghouls, blah 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 blah. It was like the pretty much as expected. Isabel might be tougher. Because she had a history there. Alright, Isabel. Let's give this a shot. Isabel's cabin is an exercise in controlled chaos. Her living space is utterly dominated by an enormous jury-rigged computer. Serpentine cables snake from component to component, tying dozens of obsolete terminals and cyberdecks together in a single colossal machine. This is my personal machine. If you're looking for your mission computer, it's downstairs. She doesn't bother looking up. You can see that she's elbow deep in the guts of an obsolete cyberdeck. Over half a dozen that had been wired into computer with braided cables. Actually, I was going to talk about you. Got a second? There's a long pause. Then she chirps out a response. We're talking now, are we? You must be pretty absorbed into what you're doing, huh? Yeah. Sorry, this is a delicate process, and you're interrupting me in the middle of it. We can talk, but you're gonna have to be okay with me doing this at the same time. Should I come back another time? No, it's fine. I can multitask. I mean, if this bothers you, you can try coming back later, but I'll probably still be working. From behind, you can see her shoulders lift to a shrug. Your choice. Let me ask you a few questions then. She leans in, scrutinizing the innards of the obsolete deck. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you. Have you been having weird dreams lately? Her body goes still. Yes. I think everyone has. You want to tell me what your dream was about? Not particularly. I don't remember much. Anyway, I've gotten good at forgetting things related to that place. Slowly, she begins rummaging through the guts of the obsolete cyberdeck again. I'm not interested in talking about my dreams, handyman. I just want to work on my computer in peace. That's quite the machine you're working on. Care to tell me about it? She's my pet project. I call her the Octopus. She waves a hand at the tangle of thick power cables that radiate out from the machine's central core. You might be able to guess why. Impressive work. How well does it perform? She's a monster. She yanks a fried chip from the deck's motherboard and neatly sets it aside, then fumbles in a nearby bin for replacement. An absolute beast. What's this thing made of? Whatever I could find. Busted terminals, obsolete cyber decks, aftermarket memory from Maximum Law's dumpster. Scavengers would kill for this stuff in the walled city, but out here, people throw it away. She chuckles to herself and eases a card into an empty expansion slot. Most deckers are early adopters. They buy whatever's newest, shell out huge amounts of Nuyen in hopes of riding the bleeding edge. Stupid. Why? Because I can have 5 of last year's model for a quarter the price of that whiz new cyber deck, and after I'm finished daisy chaining them together, the machine that I've built will run circles around your hot new deck. Makes sense? Good. That's a good sign. Shows that you're thinking clearly. Frowning, she yanks a stick of memory from the old deck. So, was there something else you needed? It's kind of that old back and forth conflict of like, I could do this for way cheaper, but it's like, but the cost you're paying is your time and effort also, so maybe it's not cheaper depending on how much you value your time and effort. It's a case-by-case situation though, and if she can do something way better with old tech than people can do with new tech at all, then maybe it is worth it. Let's see. Can we talk about the ambush at Victoria Harbor? I'd rather not. I lost friends there. Duncan and I didn't come out of that attack unscathed either. They shot Carter down, same as your friends. Was she your friend? You didn't seem that close. She returns her attention to the octopus, turning her back to you. You don't like talking about things other than your computer very much, do you? There's a long pause before she responds. When she does, she sounds vaguely hurt. I prefer not to. Nothing personal, it's just the way I am. There's nothing wrong with that, I just want to know who I'm running with. Don't you? Yes, you're still a mystery to me. There's a long pause. I don't like mysteries, but I do enjoy solving them. She turns, giving you her full attention. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you a question. Something personal. And after you've given me an answer, you get to ask me something. Think of it as a game of questions. We take turns until one of us quits. Deal? Deal. You go first, ask away. She studies your face. We'll start off easy. Tell me what you really think about Duncan. Lots of options here. We can talk about loving him as family, talk about him being a pain in the ass, but he's a brother, old friends that aren't together anymore, or someone I just straight up used and now he's annoying me, or just say I don't even have feelings, which is kind of creepy actually. He can be a pain in the ass, but he's like a brother to me. Interesting. Her eyes flit to the doorway of Gobbet's cabin, the corner of her mouth tilts upward a slight smile. And a little familiar. Funny how that works. Well, you've answered my question. I guess that makes it your turn. Where did you learn to deck? I already know that answer, dummy. How long have you been running the shadows with Gobbet? That's a good question. Guess about 4 years now, a decent stretch by anyone's reckoning. And that would make it my turn. She pauses, considering. So, tell me, what was your connection to Raymond Black? He was my benefactor and mentor. I respected him. I'm gonna infer a familial relationship with my brother, Woo, but not with Duncan. I mean not with Raymond. In that case, my condolences. It's always difficult to lose someone who you respect. Your turn. Ask me a question and I'll give you an answer. How did you and Gobbet meet? Her brow furrows, and after a moment she screws her eyes shut. We met as kids, in the walled city. My prison was her playground. You okay, Isabel? Of course, I'm okay. I'm fine. She shifts her gaze to the octopus. have a hard time remembering those days. My childhood is a kind of a blur. And that brings us back to my turn. She gestures at the cabin walls around you. You enjoy it, don't you? Living like this, working the shadows. Let's see. None of these are quite the answer I want out of it. One is saying, yeah, I'm into this, Raymond was wrong. And the other one is like, no, I miss my old life. And the other one is, I do this because I have to. My answer I would have given, I would have wanted to give would be something more along as like, maybe not want. This is what I'm used to. I'm accustomed to this and it's comfortable. But that's not quite the option, so I'll go with, this is survival. I do what I have to. Enjoyment doesn't come into it. She blinks. We may have more in common than I thought. Your turn again, go ahead. Ask me something. You grew up in the walled city, right? Tell me about that. She fidgets. I'd rather not talk about it. Ask me something else. Alright, I'll drop it. Give me a second to think of another question. They did say you can quit out of this conversation, so I'm pretty sure she's going to quit if I push her on that one and say the game's over. Of course, thank you. Where'd you learn to deck? In Wampoa. I lived there for a while after escaping the walled city. The people were difficult. We didn't get along, but it was a great place to learn. My turn again. Her head tilts as she studies your face. And, I think, my last question for you. You're stuck here, marooned. You and Duncan both. He's obviously unhappy with the situation. He keeps going on about the things that he left behind. But what about you? Is there anything you want to get back to? Nothing worth mentioning. Truth be told, I'm enjoying the change of scenery. Nothing. There isn't anything in your old life that you'd miss. I don't know whether I envy you or feel sorry for you. Being in jail for a while can do that to you. She glances down at the clock on her desk, an antique model with physical hands that looks like it was wrenched out of a submarine. A frown spreads across her face. Shit. It's even later than I thought, and I've still got a long way to go before the octopus is fixed. She begins to turn away, her attention fixed on the stack of partially disassembled cyber decks arrayed in front of her. Aren't you forgetting something? She stops in place, fidgets. If you've got another question, go ahead and ask, but be quick about it. I know that you don't want to talk about your childhood, but I need to learn more about the walled city. Her voice goes cold. Why? Because Raymond Black wanted to go in there, and somebody destroyed my life to keep him from doing that. Her cheeks flush, just like they did last time. She averts her eyes. No. I'm sorry, but no. Later, maybe. Not now. Isabel, please. This is important. Yes, but... Blinking, she turns away and buries herself in the octopus's splayed innards. Please, excuse me. I have work to do. Yep, I knew that we were going to quit the conversation the moment I asked about that, so I definitely put it off. But then the game actually kind of funneled me right back into the question at that point. Can I talk to her anymore? Isabel's jacking to the octopus. Her body sits inert, her breathing shallow. As you approach, an image blossoms onto the largest of the octopus's view screens. Oh shit, new stuff's happening. Is that a... It almost looks like her, actually. But yeah, I'm not done talking to her. We still have to talk about the last run. Oh, whoa. That's Isabel's portrait? That's not even... I thought that was the octopus, like it brought up a hologram. She's in like a crazy blue mode. Wow, this is weird. Okay, well, hello down there, it's good to see you again. She smiles down at you from the monitor, her outline scintillating with blue-white light. She looks peaceful, at ease. You feel really at home in the Matrix, don't you? You look happy in there. I suppose that I am. It's a comfort thing. As long as I'm jacked in, I can be whoever I want to be. Whatever I want to be. Out there in meat space, I usually feel uncomfortable in my own skin. The avatar offers you a lopsided smile. I'd probably just live in here if I could. Sounds nice, doesn't it? But it'll never happen. I know, and of course, I was joking. But, truth be told, I do spend most of my time out there, wishing that I were back in here. If you were a Decker, you'd feel the same. It's hard to live in a cage of meat when you know how sweet it feels to leave your body behind. Nice avatar. It's a good look on you. Isn't it? I've spent months customizing this avatar. She feels more real to me than my own skin. She pauses a moment, considering, then her avatar shimmers forward, filling the screen. A slight frown crosses her face. You know, Handyman, I've been thinking about that question you asked me a little while back. The one about the walled city. The avatar fidgets. The one I dodged. You don't have to make a big thing of it, Isabel, it's fine. It isn't, though. Not really. I cheated you out of an answer that I owed you. For what it's worth, I wasn't trying to do that. It's just that talking about the walled city is problematic for me. I understand. I grew up in the Barrens. I know how hard it can be to talk about this stuff. No, it's not that. I'm not explaining myself correctly. It isn't that I'm tortured by bad memories or anything like that. The problem is I can't remember my childhood. The walled city, that entire chapter of my life is nothing but a blur to me. I can give you the general information about life on the inside, but the specifics of my own experience are gone. Gone? What do you mean, gone? Do you have amnesia or something? Something like that? The avatar fidgets on the screen. There were a variety of factors in play. The upshot of all this is that there are things that I can tell you about, but only a few, and only in bold strokes. I don't expect any personal stories. I couldn't share them even if I wanted to. So if that's okay with you, if you'll be satisfied with trivia and urban legends, then we can talk. Just say the word. Otherwise, well, at least you know why. How did you lose your childhood memories? Isabel Avatar frowns. I'd rather not go into it, it's personal. Suffice it to say that I've never missed them, at least. Not until now. Sorry. Didn't mean to intrude. It's alright, I'm not offended. There are just some things I'd rather not talk about. Give me what you can about the walled city. At this point, anything could help. Alright. The avatar licks its lips, nods. I can do that. Isabel's avatar turns, begins to pace on the screen. Where she steps, spiderwebs of light spread across the tilted ground of the octopus's sculpted matrix hub. When I think of the walled city, the thing that stands out the most in my mind is the legends, the mythology of the place. If I hadn't lived with them, I might have found those stories fascinating. The scintillating figure turns to you on the screen. Did you know the Kowloon walled city is supposed to be cursed? That's what the locals believe. We had ghost stories and everything. Ghost stories. Isabel's avatar nods. Our own homegrown legends about things that haunted the walled city, demons from another place, the Yama Kings. If I had etiquette academic, I could say Yama Kings, derived from the mythological judge of the dread of the dead, I presume. Wow. Yeah, from a role-playing perspective, just picking up that kind of etiquette would feel so out of place for my character's dialogue up to this point. I'm glad that I'm specifically choosing the more bruiser-oriented ones. I'll definitely pick Shadowrunner next, because obviously at that point, I can probably call myself more of a Shadowrunner, so it makes sense that I'd be speaking from experience. Tell me what you can about these things. It'd probably be easiest to think of them like urban legends, our own little pantheon of monsters and morality tales to frighten ourselves with at the night. The stories are still clear in my mind, even after everything that happened. Everyone in the walled city believed them. You can get out of the walled city if you make a deal with Fu Meng. Cut the hearts from the 44 people closest to you and bring them to him. He will reward you with riches. Don't go into that arch or Qianya will catch you. The avatar grabs at the air, its hands leaving glowing trails as they move. She'll rip out your teeth, tie your tongue in a knot, and make you her slave for eternity. We had Xie Xiang, our own homegrown judge of souls. People would let themselves be flayed alive in hopes that they'd reawaken to a better life. Then we had Lamvi, the Ebony Queen, who teach you how to hide so well that you'd slowly mutate into a cockroach. The avatar cocks its head, smirking a dismissive gesture. It's all bullshit, of course, but everybody in the walled city believed it. I wouldn't write these stories off so easily. Magic is real, Isabel. Of course it is, I know that, but the Yama Kings can't be real. If they were, the body count in the walled city would be a lot higher. The Yama Kings are glorified kid stories. They're make-believe. A fiction that my parents and neighbors invented to excuse their own actions. I can't get ahead because demons are keeping me down. Woe is me, woe is me. It's almost embarrassingly transparent when you really think about it. Lamvi turning people into cockroaches. It's just a Kafka-esque trope layered on a morality tale. Xiang, he's just Anubis with a different coat of paint. And you know what that archway I mentioned? The one that Qian Yao was supposed to haunt? I know somebody who found it. There was nothing on the other side but concrete. It's all superstitious drivel, handyman. The misery of the walled city isn't to the fault of demons or devils. We created it, and we perpetuate it. We blamed made-up monsters for our own failings. There's nothing more pathetic than that. What about the shared dreams? How do you explain those away? I don't know. Mass psychosis? Or maybe something magical is going on. But it isn't them. They aren't real, they can't be. Anyway, that's enough for now, huh? I'm sure that gives you plenty to chew on. My obligation is to give you an answer as satisfied, I think. So let's talk about something else? Alright, I've been kind of pussyfooting around up to this point, but let's finally ask her about the last run. Any thoughts on the last run? She shakes her head. Nope. Sorry. Jacking into the octopus is how I relax after a long day at work. Some people go to sports bars and strip clubs. I do this. As a rule, I don't spoil my leisure time with shop talk. Really? But it's the place where you learned what you do. It seems like and it's the part of your childhood, it's the part of your youth or past you remember. How could you not have something to talk about here? But we're already talking shop, aren't we? There's a difference between the job and our lives. It's after hours, and I don't want to talk about work, so if you wouldn't mind changing the subject. She lets the sentence hang. Can you think of anything else at all that might help us? I don't know, maybe. I'll put some thought into it. The avatar pauses, turns away. After a moment, Isabel's voice pours through the Tridio's speakers. On second thought, maybe I do have an idea. Are you open to taking on more work? Of course. Kindly sending me new jobs offers all the time. This wouldn't be working for Auntie Chang. Think of it as a side gig that you'd do for me. I think I've got a line on some software that could help us. I couldn't get to it on my own though. It's a two-person job, at least. And Kindly Cheng would be okay with this? Sure. What does she care if we pick up a little scratch on the side? I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to tell her about the job or anything, but even if she were to find out, it's really none of her business. We're her employees, not her property. I have the run all planned out already. I've done the legwork. I know the location. I know the target. Just say the word and I'll send everything I have to your mission computer. You can look it over, weigh it over, decide what you want to do. Alright. Send the file. The Isabel avatar closes its eyes for a moment and then opens them with a smile. Done. You'll find the pertinent documents waiting in your inbox. If you decide to accept the mission, just check the box in the mission documentation and it'll ping my comlink automatically. Alright. Can't wait to find out what this is all about. I'm sure that the briefing I sent you will satisfy your curiosity. Trust me, handyman. This is a good job with a solid plan behind it. You'll see as soon as you've read it. And speaking of which, you should go do that now. Say no more, I'll go check it out. The avatar beams at you. Fantastic, I can't wait to hear what you think. Well, that sounds like a reasonable distraction. I was going to talk to Gobbet and the ghoul character, that Ogaichu, our new character, but this is actually already lasting a really long time. I wouldn't mind doing a little side quest for Isabel real quick, and then coming back to follow up on these other characters' backstories in the future. I like to mix things up as we go along, because being completionist and thorough about some of this stuff can really make it drag forever if you try to do it all at once sometimes. Still, I want to see if I can push her at all. Because it seems weird that she still hasn't had anything... Oh. It's fine. I've got to go. That's not important dialogue. I just wanted to see if I could press her again about the last mission, because I'm like, really? You gotta have something to say about the fact that we killed the people that you, like, grew up... that you were spending time with. But she's just like, why haven't you accepted the last mission? And then you have the option to be like, oh, yeah, we shouldn't do that. And it's just that kind of stuff. So I kind of skipped past it. Because it was incidental dialogue. It's filler, kind of. It's just there because it needs to be. Let's check the inbox for new messages. Let's see. Yep, there's the job offer from Isabel. It's a video instead of mail. Interesting. A recording of Isabel pops onto the screen. She stares into the camera, her eyes full of intensity. If you're watching this, you've decided to listen to my job offer. That's a good thing. I wasn't convinced that you would. Our target is a local Decker, a former Wampoan. In the Matrix, his handle is Rhombus. He has the software that we need. Unfortunately, he's unassailable from the Matrix, and nobody knows where he lives in meat space. But I know where he's going to be. There's an event coming up that Rhombus can't afford to miss. He might already be on his way there. When you're reading this message, Deckers from all over Asia, white hat and black hat alike, are converging on the Harbor Spires Hotel. This year, Harbor Spires is hosting Deckcon, Hong Kong's largest annual decking conventions. Rhombus is going to be there, and that gives us an opportunity. We're going to hit the convention, find him in meat space, and get the software away from him, and we're going to do it quietly. Enclosed, you will find a copy of the plan that I've worked out on the run. Presented in bullet point format, everything should be fairly straightforward. Isabel's image winks off the screen, replaced by a blinking cursor. As you watch, the screen begins to fill with lines of simple instructions. I will provide you with one other runner of your choice with... I will provide you and one other runner of your choice with visitor passes for the convention. I will proceed ahead of you using my own guest badge. I will hide in the woman's lavatory in the first floor. You will enter via the kitchen and procure a uniform from the catering staff. Please be sure that the uniform is size 4. Okay, so the series here. So I take one person in, she's in the bathroom, I go in the kitchen and get a size 4 catering staff equipment. Size 4 catering from the kitchen, that's going to be something to remember probably. While we rendezvous, I will change into the uniform and using it, I will infiltrate the administrative building wing on the 6th floor. You will proceed into the convention and await further instructions. Using the admin computer, I will identify Rhombus via his guest registration form. Once I have done this, I will alert you via comlink. I will upgrade your badge to VIP status, granting you access to the VIP wing in the hotel. You will tell Rhombus that he has been granted VIP status and offer to escort him to a complimentary hotel room. You will escort him to a room that I designate and hold him there. I will jack out of the Matrix and make my way from the admin wing to your room. We will intimidate Rhombus or beat the tar out of him until he gives us the software. We will tie and gag Rhombus and stuff him into a storage closet. We will not be gentle. It's okay if he starts crying. Actually, please prioritize this. I want to see tears. Software in tow. We will make our escape. The glowing text fades and Isabel winks back into the screen. See, it's a simple plan, just like I said. We should be able to get through it without firing a shot. So, will you do it? Will you help me get the software I need? Let's take the run. The pre-recorded footage of Isabel winks off the screen and a real-time feed of her Matrix avatar replaces it. Excellent. I knew that I could count on you. Saddle up, handyman. This is going to be fun. It does sound like it's going to be fun. Anything here about Raymond Black's history? That's probably something to look into. But old messages, job directory, Shadowrun BBS. Let's see. Read my old messages? No. Jobs directory. Oh, claim payment for Wampoa Garden murders. I probably just missed that earlier. Oh, or maybe I had to sleep until morning. I'm not sure. Anyway, there it is. I know where to look for it now. The job You submit the job as finished and await the response. A few minutes later, a message pops onto the screen. I feel like this might end poorly, because complete is a strong word for what happened. From Kindly Cheng to the handyman. I asked you to solve a problem, and your method of solving it is to kill the people I was doing a favor for. I have half a mind to throw you into the goddamn bay. Still, the Wampoans are now more afraid of me than ever. The money's started flowing again, so I suppose that's something. I've attached your payment. The Wampoans made it explicitly clear that you wouldn't have been paid, that they wouldn't have paid at all, except to ensure that you never come back to the garden. Next time, try not to fuck up the job so much. I may not be as forgiving. Kindly Cheng. Alright, so we got our payment. We killed the people that we were there for, which is iffy, but I seem to have gotten a reward anyway, so I'll take that. That takes my net worth to 1,200, which is certainly better than 1,000. I might just run directly into the whole Decker situation. Yeah, let's just go make our way to the subway. I think I've spent enough time in Haoi. I've spent like the last hour in Haoi practically, so I'm ready to do something else for a little while. Shen is busily counting out cred sticks as you approach. Shen's hands move quickly, fingers deftly sorting them into small plastic bins. The labels in the bins bear names: Steelarm Lu, Grandfather Woe, Lucky Ping, and Kindly Cheng. Shen's eyes flicker up at you for a fraction of a second before returning to the task. One moment. I'll be done shortly. A few last flicks of the wrist see the final cred sticks sorted into their respective bin, and with the lion's share going to Kindly and Steelarm Lu. Now, what can I do for you? Just want to see what I can buy from him. Because I have 3 points in my skill now, so now, ooh. Oopsie, I accidentally clicked on it instead of reading it. So Nerve Strike, an attack that does low damage but slows the target and reduces their aim, for example. I can now afford if I want to. I guess the question is whether or not I necessarily want to, though. It's the last skill I don't have yet. Part of me just likes the idea of grabbing new abilities. Damage of 8. 8's not super low damage. And yes, slowing target and reducing their aim. Being able to make certain characters not act could be pretty useful, just as a general rule. And now I've got my 4 skills. I've got one that makes me pierce armor, which is nice. I've got one that makes me do more damage the next few turns. I've got one that slows and stuns, that slows people down, and I've got one that gives me a resistance to spells when I use it. These are both good things. You pay a lot of dues to the Yellow Lotus. Shen shrugs, obviously indifferent to the amount of that the shop's being taxed. I do. That's how the system works. I pay kindly for rent. Steelarm Lu gets money because he's my superior. Lucky Ping receives a finder's fee for goods she sent my way. And Grandfather Woe took me in. He gets paid because he's family and I owe him for getting me off the streets. You join the organization, you have to pay the dues. It's the same anywhere else, and it beats the hell out of being homeless in Kowloon. Stuffing the boxes away from the counter, Shen produces a box of assorted needles and inks and begins cataloging them on a battered PDA. You don't mind paying? Not really. Grandfather Woe saved my life by taking me in. You know, life expectancy for homeless kids in Aberdeen isn't very good. Because of him, I have skills and friends who will pay to make use of them. It's a good life, all things considered. Shen leans back against the stack of cages, causing them to snakes within to hiss and snap at the glass. I'm just a blue lantern, a foot soldier. I answer to White Ming, who I studied with on Wu Deng Mountain. He is the 49er, the man who runs our crew. I don't pay him because he takes his own cut from what we make. That's all for now. Alright, just made a quick trip for magic. Onto the mission. Alright, so it's time to pick my crew for this mission. I'm thinking of who I want to bring along. Isabel's required because it's her mission, obviously. Kind of surprised she's not just locked in, because I think that happened before. I think Duncan was locked in on a previous mission. Looking at these characters, if I can only bring one, Gaichu is pretty similar to me. Duncan is all guns, so my go-to would be Orc, because I'm already playing as a damage-oriented character that isn't very versatile in some ways. Bringing Shaman along to be able to cast haste and heal and stuff like that Means that Gobbet's probably the right person to bring along to complement my character if we get in a fight. And if we don't get in a fight, well, then we'll be good, right? Maybe. Oh, wait. Oh. You know what? Never mind. We should bring Duncan. We are trying to... The goal is to try to get in and out without a fight. I was thinking in terms of, like, if I get in a fight, Gobbet's the most complimentary character to have around, but Duncan is, as a security expert, is more likely to actually have something useful to present, because we're sneaking into a place and using exploits and stuff to go, you know, make the kind of a heist go off without a hitch. All right, Duncan, let's go, Brother Wu. You're about to fast travel to Kaitak. Continue. Yep. Deckcon 2056. A chartered bus carries you from Kaitak to a mid-range hotel in Suanwan. All around you, the happy chatter of your fellow passengers fills your ears. You hear the tech speak in a variety of languages and dialects, talk about new lines of drones and decks, arguments over innovations in data jet technology, and baseless speculation about the next season of Urban Brawl. Your guest badge, a glossy slip of laminated paper emblazoned with a flashy logo, hangs on a lanyard around your neck. Your ticket into this convention hall, and the only disguise that you should need. The bus drops you in front of the Harbor Spires Hotel, and you promptly circle around back to find a service entrance. Isabel should be waiting for you inside. Oh, just a place to gear up for a moment. Do I still have an outfit here? I thought I sold you before. Did I do that wrong? I must have just misinterpreted that as being a selling screen for some reason. It must just be an inspecting spot. Oh well. The service entrance to the Harbor Spires Hotel looks like any other. Scuffed walls coated in chipped paint, a floor of well-worn hardwood, a time card reader hanging from the wall at a slight tilt. Nothing about this dingy, utilitarian confines of the room that you're in hints that the elegance and fine decor of the hotel beyond. Reminds me of that dump we squatted in back in Bear Creek. The motel with the raccoon problem. Little bastards kept me up half the night, every night. I swear one of them was eyeballing me. Your earpiece cracks to life. Isabel, calling from the woman's lavatory. Handyman. A burst of static fills your ear, obliterating Isabel's voice. A second later, she cuts back in. You in position? Yeah, I'm standing just inside the service entrance. Alright, so far... No more white noise. Good. So far so good, probably. This doesn't bode well. Aren't you going to be giving us instructions over the comm? Yeah, hang on a sec... Ned, try to push the second strength. The sound cuts out entirely for a good 5 seconds. When Isabel's voice comes back, it's half again as loud as it was before. There. That's better. What a pain in the ass this is. There's way too much interference coming from the show floor. We aren't going to be able to rely on our comm links for this. I'll find us a workaround. I hope you do it fast. This entire plan hinges on us being able to communicate. Like I said, I'll find a workaround. For now, let's concentrate on the task at hand. The catering staff should all be in the kitchen, hauling trays of steamed clams and aperitifs? I don't know. Out into the convention hall floor. I'm gonna need you to find a way to get me one of their uniforms, one that will fit someone my size. We need a size 4 dwarf uniform. What if there aren't any that'll fit you? There will be. Hotel guidelines require the catering company to have uniforms suitable for all metatypes on hand for major events. It's a contingency thing, just in case they need to bring in temp workers on short notice. If you're certain of this, let's go ahead with it. What's the worst that could happen? Don't say that, it's bad luck. Oh, and handyman. We aren't going loud yet, you got that? Whatever you do, don't start shooting. I don't have a gun, so that's easy. Oh, I guess my friend does. We can't afford to send Rhombus running before we get him cornered. Right, no shooting until we have Rhombus, got it. You hear that? Woo, no shooting. Nasty little shooter, there's an alarm panel. Do I want to look at that at all? Send drone into vent. Alright. So our current objectives are locate and tap Rhombus, use the kitchen objective, get to the kitchen uniform, Jesus, what did I just say? And keep Isabella alive. Straightforward. So we need to find that uniform. So can I open this door? Oh, that's the kitchen immediately. Interesting. What do I do with the drone here? The wall vent looks large enough to accommodate a standard security drone. Okay. I assume I want these guys out of this room. So do I want to pull the alarm? This panel controls simple building maintenance and safety features. While the panel's admin-level user interface has been locked away behind a biometric fingerprint reader, a skilled decker could easily bypass such a restriction. Oh, I didn't have one. In fact, my only skilled decker is the one that's not going to be here because she's in the bathroom. Decking 3. Forge admin-level access and browse the panel's file structure. Nope. Let's see. View archived work manifest logs. Huang. Millions. The damned sprinklers went off again. The entire kitchen was flooded, and Chef Bun quit. We're going to have to go with third-party caterers for the big event this weekend, because we sure as hell can't steam a few thousand clams without any kitchen staff. Cool. They're expecting people to work here that are not regulars. That makes it easier to blend in, and for people to fake being employees. Anything else? Nope. It's the only note we have. Well, without further ado, I guess we just move forward, right? Hey guys. Maybe I should save real quick, in case I make some sort of horrible mistake. Anyone gonna notice me as I walk in? Yep. The Harbor Spire's kitchens are a whirlwind of activity. Attractive 20-somethings in white catering uniforms dash in and out of the room, their arms laden with heaping trays of steaming shellfish. One man stands still amongst the chaos, the eye of the storm. His white coat is at least half again wider than those of his subordinates, and his collar starched, as stiff as a board. The floor's manager notices you, and his eyes narrow. He stalks towards you, practically frothing at the mouth. You can't help but notice the embroidered corporate logo on his lapel. Pastry magic and more, fine catering. The image is completed by a stylized rendering of what appears to be a frolicking kitten standing astride a pair of shooting stars.
You! What are you doing in my kitchen?
He glances at your chest, seeing the visitor badge hanging from the lanyard that Isabel gave you, dangling around your neck.
Convention goers are not allowed beyond the show floor.
So 2 little tricks I can do here. Corporate. I'm here at the behest of my employer, Wujing Incorporated. Perhaps you have heard of us. Nope. Socialites. Please forgive my impertinence. I have a gala event to cater, and I am hoping to book you for the event. Well, those are fun tricks to have if you're that kind of person. I'm not that kind of person. I get the feeling we're gonna have some funny mishaps from the fact that the leader of my Shadowrun crew is kind of a dumb bruiser. Let's see. I smelled clams. Are you steaming clams back here? He growls in exasperation.
Yes, idiot, yes we are. And if you want some, you're going to have to wait for the show floor with everyone else.
I really like your uniform. Could I buy one for my daughter? He stares at you.
You want to buy one of our uniforms?
Yeah. An extra small one if you got it. I think she'd love the kitten logo. His mouth tightens.
It isn't a kitten. It's supposed to be a celestial tiger.
Looks like a kitten to me. He hangs his head low, color creeping into his cheeks.
Yeah, I know. I keep telling our graphic designer, but he never listens.
You want a uniform? 500 nuyen. Pay up or get out. Alright. Done deal. If I had higher charisma, I'd be like, oh, come on, be reasonable. I'll pay you 5 nuyen for your uniform and another 295 for your assistance. I'll pay him. It's a solution, at least. Hopefully I make more money back out of this, though, in the end. He jerks his head towards the door in the corner of the room.
It's in the ready room over there.
The kitchen manager clicks a button on his wrist and the door slides open. He smiles proudly.
Remote system to help servers with full hands.
That's, That's a pretty sweet piece of gear there.
It is actually. The hotel doesn't hand these things out, you know. Most other catering companies would never get their hands on one. Now grab your uniform and get out of my hair, alright? We're busy here.
Well, that was easy. The expensive kind of easy. Alright, bye catering staff. Don't just walking in off the streets barefoot in your kitchen. No big deal. Don't pay attention to me. Keep saying send drone into event. Is that just... I guess it's not contextual? I'm just thinking like, what drone? Like, what? I don't remember that being part of the plan, but it's just saying like, yeah, you could totally put a drone in. Oh, what the fuck? Is this a glitch? I'm in the vent now. Oh no, is this a glitch? I don't think I'm supposed to be in here. What the hell? You're supposed to be sending a drone into the vent, you're not supposed to be walking into it. I'm gonna assume that's a glitch. Catering uniform, item picked up. We got it. I guess the size wasn't important because I never had to pick the right size from a list or anything like that. Alright. Good start. Now let's see if I can get through the rest of the plan without screwing it all up. Oh yeah. This place got big real fast. Alright guys, so look forward to this next episode. I think this is a decent time to stop it. We've successfully infiltrated the place. We have the uniform we need. Now we just need to find our mark and isolate them. This could be fun little bit of spycraft. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching like always.